Welcome, everyone. Today we will discuss MuleSoft RPA with everyone. This is the 16th MuleSoft Meetup, and thank you, everyone, for joining. We will begin with the. Just want to read out some statements before we begin our introductions. Both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. Organizers, presenters do not hold any responsibilities that same solution will work for your business requirements. This presentation is meant for not any promotional activities. We have some housekeeping rules. This session will be recorded. So if you cannot make it till the end of the session, please do not worry. We will have it recorded and will be available to all of you. Please be muted. Please do not unmute yourself and ask your questions in the question answer box. We will answer them throughout the presentation, but also towards the end. We will have a Q&A session where you'll be able to more openly ask your questions. We highly urge you to give us a feedback. It helps us to create the next presentation, but also help us to do the best we can and bring to you what we think you need. Thank you so much. So the agenda today is pretty straightforward. Let's start with the introductions. Shubham, do you wanna?
Yes. My name is Shubham Kalsi. I'm a software developer, specifically working on MuleSoft developing integrations for an e-commerce company. And I'm a MuleSoft mentor and meetup leader as well. Me and Ismi also have a YouTube channel between two mules where we share everything related to MuleSoft. So if you guys want to check that out, please do. That's about it, Ismi.
Thank you, Shubham. I am working as a senior developer at Simplus, and I'm also a MuleSoft mentor. As Shubham mentioned, we do create videos on MuleSoft, and I also write technical blogs. Please give them a read, go through that, and give us an honest feedback. Sadik unfortunately could not be here with us right now, but he will join us shortly. So I'll introduce him for you. He works as an integration specialist and solution architect. He's also our MuleSoft ambassador, a fellow ambassador with Shravan, the man of our hour. And without any further ado, Shravan, it's all yours.
Yep, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining MuleSoft Meetup Montreal. And I see very quite a few folks have joined, but it's good because we will have more interaction time to discuss with each other. That's one good way. So let me introduce myself. I am a senior MuleSoft developer and architect. I always claim myself a developer first and then architect because I love coding. With 8.5 years of IT experience, and out of which 7+ years is specific to MuleSoft. And throughout my career, as I mentioned here, I have worked in various locations like India, Poland, and Canada. And I have worked in various domains like banking, retail, pharma, HR, and insurance domains. And maybe I'll see more in my future. And I am also a MuleSoft leader and MuleSoft ambassador, as Smith mentioned. And I'm a MuleSoft leader for Hyderabad, India, and Toronto, Canada. And I love to speak, so I always wanted to become a teacher. So probably that's the reason I keep speaking all the time. So I have delivered many sessions across the globe, and yep. And I have my YouTube channel called MuleSoft Tech Zone, where you can find my content for MuleSoft related to MuleSoft, and my personal blog channel, of course, if you want to know what is happening in my life. Of course, people are interested, right? So yeah, I always invite you to connect with me on various media platforms. You can find me on www.sravanlingam.com. So yep, this is all about me, and maybe without wasting time, we can get started, right? Can I share my screen, Smith, if that's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me know once you share my screen. And Smith, if you find any difficulties with my voice and all, you can feel free to unmute and let me know. Okay.
Will do.
All right. So, yep, we can get started. Guys, before getting started, MuleSoft RPA, it is a new product or new technology. It's not a new technology, it's a new product from MuleSoft because RPA is the technology that we already have. And MuleSoft has come up with a new tool called MuleSoft RPA. And it's quite new for me. Both the technology and the tool are quite new to me. So, whatever I am delivering today is from the training sessions that I acquired and the demos that I have done, like the practical things which I have done. So I might not know a few things and I might know a few things. So if at all I'm not able to answer anything, I'll try to answer you later, and you can post those questions to me on LinkedIn. I will be able to answer. So it is new to me, and I just wanted to share my experience with you, just to introduce this RPA technology to you, so that you will explore more. That's the main concept and agenda from my side. All right. So today I will show you like how to automate the process of RSVPing to MuleSoft meetups. So before getting started about technical things, but what is RPA, right? So the modern companies, they have a constant need to increase both the productivity of an employee and the digital competitiveness. But what is happening here? The standard workflows that we have in our companies, it has time consuming, and all are related to manual tasks. When I say manual tasks, there is no API, or there is no integration, or there is no code which can perform to complete those tasks. So a human has to go verify manually and then or complete the task. But this manual task not only eat away our time, or it also the ability to focus on this task is really important. Whenever a task is done manually, you know that there can be human errors, right? We are humans, we do mistakes, right? So to solve this problem, there is a technology that has emerged in earliest 2000, which is called as robotic process automation. That is what RPA is called as. So this is the reason why we start using RPA technology, nothing but to automate the manual process. So what is the purpose of having an RPA, right? So as we said, we have to automate this traditional manual task using a program called robot, right? And for example, if we are building some code to integrate between two systems, we call it an API, right? So here we call this in MuleSoft terms. Here we call it as a robot. So robot is a program that we write to automate this traditional manual tasks. Next, and these robots are designed to imitate a human user when carrying out their designated tasks, which is called processes. So we do some tasks, right? For example, we need to go through an Excel sheet, filter out the data based on certain condition, and create a new file and place it in some folder. So this is the manual task that we are doing. So these robots are designed to do all these tasks step by step. Okay, that's why it is called robot. And what is it with this process? So this process can include interacting with an open applications, extracting the data, as I said, like when I say open applications, the web browsers. Okay, you have some data. For example, you need to catch the headline of today's from bbc.com, but bbc.com don't expose an API to get the data. So there is no way that we can use MuleSoft to integrate with BBC. Of course, if BBC can have APIs in the backend, but you are specifically looking at the top headline for today in their website. So what you have to do, there is no other process. Usually what we do is we go to the website, copy the headline, control C, control V, and paste it somewhere. But here in this case, if you want to automate this process, we are going to use RPS to extract the data. That's what open application means. And then manipulating the data, like manipulating the computer mouse. For example, we click, right? We do control F, control C, control V, everything. So we are automating that with the process. By completing these processes, bots have this ability to save the time of an employee. And of course, efficiency matters, right? It's not about just the saving of time. Efficiency matters. Sometimes humans make mistake, but robot doesn't, unless and until you are making a wrong code, right? So it is both faster and more reliable. Now comes like why MuleSoft RPA. Of course, we have many companies which use RPA technology, or they have the products of RPA. But why specifically MuleSoft? Okay, the first reason is MuleSoft RPA was designed in such a way that they keep user in mind, right? We know what needs to be done for series of steps, which I will be showing on the demo, right? So MuleSoft has been designed in such a way that they keep that user in mind, so it will be easy for a robot to perform its tasks. And then it achieves by employing a single unified platform to manage the full RPA lifecycle. If people, again, I know people, if you are not from MuleSoft background, or if you are only from RPA background, I wanted to just give you a couple of insights about MuleSoft Anypoint Platform. So MuleSoft Anypoint Platform is a one-stop place for APIs. Okay, it is a unified platform for APIs, where we have design center, runtime manager, API manager, monitoring, etc., etc., etc. It's a unified platform for integration. Likewise, MuleSoft RPA has come up with another unified platform which we call as RPA Manager, okay, which has everything. I'll show you how RPA Manager looks like. And this approach enables the company to develop, as I said, manage and monitor every deployed robot at one place. That is the beauty of MuleSoft. Basically, it helps us. MuleSoft makes our work more easy, instead of going to different third-party tools and get the features and all. MuleSoft itself puts everything together so that we don't need any third-party tools, right? And most importantly, it can be automated using clicks and not code, that I'm going to show you here. Absolutely no code, it's about the clicks. You will see like more kind of, we are doing kind of Adobe Photoshop, right? So it will be more interesting. Okay, I will try to make sure that it is interesting. And that means individuals who are familiar with the task, who don't have coding skills. If you're worried about coding skills, then it's fine, because it can automate the process without having to wait on it. Okay, you don't really need coding skills to create the bots, right? So this is how RPA lifecycle looks. And today I'm not going to go through all the lifecycle phases, because RPA is not a small topic to discuss. Okay, so it starts with software installation, just like any other technology, right? We have to install whatever tools which are necessary, and then we need some access, right, to RPA Manager. You need to create users, you need to give roles, all that things comes under access user management lifecycle. And then we have an evaluation process. And I wanted to tell you one thing: we are performing a robotic task, right, for a reason. We are investing to create these bots, isn't it? When we are investing, that means it involves money. For the business, it's all about it's not about what technology you are using, or what tool you are using, right? For them, it is about return on investment. They are spending some money on certain tasks, and they expect that it should return something. So first you need to evaluate whether or not this particular manual task, if we are automating this, will return something, right? If it is something which is not useful, then why we need to go ahead and create a bot task, right? So that is very important. Evaluation phase is really important. Okay, and then comes design phase. Just like if you are familiar with designing APIs, we use RAML. Here we have a different phase called design phase, which use a separate tool for that, but it is more or less the process is same. Okay, first we are designing, then we are building. That we are talking today. Our session is all about build phase today. And sorry, once this build is completed, that means here build means the development part. Okay, once the development part is completed, then we'll obviously go to the test phase. And once it is tested successfully, it is deployed. And once it is deployed successfully, of course we need to manage and monitor. This is the life cycle. Just how we have API life cycle in MuleSoft, we have the same thing with RPA life cycle. More or less it is like having the same thing. Like for example, design, develop, test, deploy, monitor. The only prerequisites for this is the software installation, access management, and evaluate phase. All right, so before going to build phase, I will see if there are any questions on my screen. Yeah, please do not hesitate to ask questions in the Q&A chat. Just I wanted to know whether you guys are attentive. Shall I move further? If yes, please type yes. Some. Okay, good, perfect. So you will get to know more when I start giving demo, because it is new for everyone, right? I understand. So okay, coming back to build phase. Yeah. So what does this build phase do? So it fill in the process with instructions and functions. Why I'm saying instructions? Because it is a robot. It takes only instruction. Again, you are the man is creating the robot, right? So you have to make sure that you are not doing any flaws in when we are writing code or functions, and each step automated in our MuleSoft RPA builder. So MuleSoft RPA builder is a tool, and we are going to automate each step that we do. Okay, and there is no direct coding necessary, as I told you. Use the drag and drop functionality just like we have it in Anypoint Studio. Then test easily from within builder itself. I will show you how to test it. Okay, so before that, now I'm going to change my screen resolution, because one of the important things when you start coding with RP is you need to change your resolution to 100%, and the recommended is 9020 by 1200 resolution. As I already said, like it is more kind of taking screenshots, capturing the text, doing the things, more kind of Adobe Photoshop, right? And one more thing, you can do the currently MuleSoft RPA is supported only for Windows machines. You cannot do it for any Linux machines or Mac. Got it? So the one of the main prerequisite, I took this laptop only to just practice my MuleSoft RPA, because I was using Mac, and Mac unfortunately doesn't support a MuleSoft RPA. All right. So first things first, if you want to practice, you need to have a Windows machine, and make sure that you select the layout with size as 100% and resolution as 1920 by 1200. All right, let's get started with the demo, guys. Let me go again. All right. So now I will change my screen resolution. You might be seeing, very short this thing. Change the resolution of the display. Currently I have 150, but I am keeping it 100. You will see it very short. How does this look, Smith? Tiny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have no option. I need to use this to get started. Okay, guys. Okay, even before getting started, I will just change this to 150, and I will show you. Now what I'm going to do is, you all know that, give me 1 second. Yeah, to go, you all know that if you want to RSVP for a MuleSoft event, what you will do, you will go to mulesoft.com. Correct. Next thing is, you will see what are the upcoming events or whatever it is, right? You'll see the upcoming events. And for example, if you are looking for a specific, for example, chat gpt, there is a chat gpt event. Today I'm going to concentrate on this particular session. Actually, unfortunately, we used to have a test, you know RPA video training exercise, okay, this meter. But unfortunately, we don't have any upcoming events for that. I think they have closed. And my demo till yesterday was all about RPA training video exercise. And yesterday night, when I tried to run my RPA bot, everything was failing because there was no event. Okay, that is one more important point. Whenever there is a change in UI, if you're working with UI part, okay, whenever there is a change in UI, then you have to change the code, because everything we are capturing and doing all this stuff. Okay, so that's why this is more recommended for intranet applications, because intranet applications in your organization, whenever there is a change, they will let you know upfront, right, that we are going to change this and that. So you have to make sure that you are in touch with the CX team, and make sure that no changes are there. If there are changes, you have to accommodate them accordingly, just how I did yesterday night. Okay, so that's the reason. Now I am going to go. I went to, so I'll show you one video that I have recorded last time, which is the working ones. So this is the RPA bot. Okay, If you can see my screen, this is for RSVPing to that RPA video training. So everything is a automated process. So it goes to the MuleSoft community first, and then it finds for a link for find a meetup near you. It is clicking that, and then it goes to RPA video training exercise. There was an event, okay, earlier. So they click the details and they RSVP. So everything, this is not something which I have done manually. It is a robot task which it is performing. So then it will go to login. Okay. Email and password entering is purely by the RPA bot task. I am not typing anything here. Then it's login, and then it will check whether you have already RSVP to the event or not. So once it is checked, it's quite evident that it is not RSVP'd earlier. So now it will try for RSVPing the event. So it will click on RSVP next, and then it will do Control F because I have information already. Search for the submit button and click on submit. Okay, and then it is going to add an event to the Google Calendar. Okay, it is going to type uh, my email ID. Next, it is going to type the password, which I will show you where you can provide these credentials in the demo. So once it is done, it will click on save. Okay, that's done. So what I have done so far in this RPA bot is, it is going to, first of all, does it seem interesting, guys? Right, it is very interesting, right? So we are asking a robot to go ahead and RSVP for a particular event, and then add it to your Google Calendar, right? So this is the RPA process that we have done. Now let me go ahead and show my bot. Okay, now I have to change my resolution. Okay, before going to, okay, I keep twisting. So before going to RPA builder, I promise that I will show you the RPA manager. Okay, so guys, RPA manager, no, this is incognito. RPA manager, you can have so people who are already partners with MuleSoft has this license, RPA manager. Unlike Anypoint platform, you won't be having any kind of free trial account for RPA. So if at all, oh, interesting, it's interesting. But all right. So this is how your RPA manager looks like. Okay, it's similar to API manager. You have different phases. I told you, right? We have an evaluation phase. We have like monitoring phase. We have deployment, bot management, and this is access phase. So the first thing what you do is evaluation phase. For that, you might need to create one, task. I'm not going to into the design phase and all, but I'll just show you that. For example, what is evaluation? Okay, process evaluation. I want to create one process evaluation and give the name as like Montreal Meetup. This is just evaluation phase, and it is nothing to, it is not related to build phase at all. Okay, and choose category. Just click OK. Once it is done, it is asking you the cost related stuff. It is asking how much time does it take for a person to complete that process. So it's manual process execution time. For me, when I'm going to RSVP, like, doing all this process, it might take 2 minutes of time, for example. Okay. So I'll say 0002 002 how much it costs. Obviously, it doesn't cost anything for RSVP. This is not a real time use case, isn't it? So I'll say, for example, it is costing me, for example, $10 per process to have this thing. And how frequent? I will say like it's like maybe like 10 times per month. Just give an example. Okay. So now so you have entered all those details, and now you're going to qualify as 2.0. So how nature of what kind of work it is? Is it a rule based? If you think it is a rule based, for example, you want to join only the meetups which are having the tags RPA, right? It is a rule base, okay? Or you can just exclude this part also. So whenever you're doing this kind of thing, you can see this process matrix is being changed, okay? Input and output, is it like unstructured or structured? You can move this. So when you are moving all this stuff, right, this is like based upon your requirements, you do that. And then what are the benefits, okay? Is it really urgent to do this? Yes, it is really urgent for me. Is it complex? A bit complex, not really too much. And is there any risk? Yes, there is a lot of risk when you are doing this manually, okay? And now you can see the graph, the point has reached to a green zone. That means whenever you are into a green zone, that means it is suggesting you to automate this manual process, okay? But if at all it shows like, if it goes to green, or it is in red area, right, then it recommends that it is not really required to create a RPA bot for this particular manual process. So based upon this evaluation criteria, you are going to perform your task. Clear everyone on this part? Yes, no? Perfect. Okay, so now let's go to our demo. This time I'm not going to change back to 150 version, okay? So now, if I go to the RPA builder, this is how it looks. It looks like similar to Anypoint Studio, but not really an Anypoint Studio, because this is called Canvas. Okay, just like Anypoint MuleSoft, Anypoint Studio, where we have flows, drag and drop. Here also we have similar kind of flows, right? It looks like more kind of a lucid chart, right? And we have connectors, kind of connectors we call them. So on our left side in this tab, which is called as toolbox, so toolbox, you have every connector there. What you want to do, you can just drag and drop onto this canvas. And here itself we have a repository explorer, okay? Once the design part is done, then RPA manager, we are connecting to this RPA builder, so that whatever projects are there in RPA manager, it will show here, okay? And this is the toolbox. So here is the flow for every start and end of the event. There is a start event. You can see the circle here, dark circle, append this one. Sorry, start event, and there will be a end event. That means you are ending the event. And if there is any, okay, I'll go step by step. That would be the easier way. The first thing what I am doing is the first step what I have done, I have to open a Chrome and type something, correct? Mulesoft.com or whatever it is. For that, what we have to do is, if you want to open any application, right? So you need to use this run program wizard connector. So if I search here run program, there is a connector called run program. Drag it. So every okay, whatever is there in blue color, right? The blue one, I just use the colors. Okay, you can paint the colors. For example, if you take this, you can make it green. Okay, if you select this, just for making sure that coloring of this, okay? But what is this? It is a bot task. Whatever you are seeing here is a bot task, and each bot task you can create workflows. It's just like a flow or a private flow or a subflow. Each bot task you can consider, like, if you want to do certain activities in one particular bot, you can divide them. You can do everything in one bot, but I don't want to do it, because if anything breaks, I have to change everything in this particular bot. So I'm dividing this series of steps, like logging into the MuleSoft community, searching for the event, everything I am dividing into different bot tasks. Okay, my first bot task, what it will do is, it will open the Chrome and enter the MuleSoft community, whatever. As I said, I am using run program wizard. Okay. Again, to open the Chrome, you should make sure that you have Chrome installed on your deployed machine, deployed host. You can see, like, my particular local machine has this chrome.exe file in my program file, so I am using that. And can you see here what I'm trying to do? I am asking them to open in the incognito window, maximize it, because whenever we are opening a new window, it will be in minimized window. I'm asking to maximize when it starts, and open www.mulesoft.com MuleSoft community. Clear? So this is the one, and here what I'm doing is, this is called keystrokes. Okay, sometimes in your installed machines this start maximize won't work properly. Okay, in worst case what we are doing is, I am trying to click on this particular, if you see here we have an icon, right? We, let me cancel this. We are doing this minimize and maximize. So this is what keystrokes we are talking about. You're clicking something, those are the keystrokes, right? So that I am mentioning. So when I did some keystrokes, it says like you used up, down, then up, all these keystrokes what you do in on your laptop keyboard. Okay, now let's run only this particular bot. If you're clicking on this one on the whole, okay, let me do this. Let me first run the whole process once so that you will get familiar. All right, so I am running the whole process here. It is saying waiting for the user task to start now. And this is something like, if your particular bot task requires any inputs from the user. For example, um, as I said like before, right? You want to RSVP only for RPA events, then you can create one input activity parameter and you can pass your inputs over here. But for now, this I just showed you for the demo purpose, but I'm not using this particular string value anywhere. So I'll just click OK. Okay. Now see, I'm not using my hands. It just opens the Chrome in incognito window, and then it will find for the link, find a meetup near you. It is clicking there. I am not clicking it. Then click on upcoming events. Then it is going to view details of ChatGPT. Okay. Now we have to log in, whether we have done, we have already subscribed or not. So now it will click on login. It will enter email and password. I want to stress this point again. I am not doing this by myself because I'm not turning on my video. I can show I would have shown my hand when if I turned on my video. So now it will check whether it is RSVP'd or not. It is not. So now it will start RSVPing for the event. You can see the pop-ups, right? Now it is in the stage of RSVP for event. I know the screen is very small, but I'm just showing. So it shows like Control F, submit, and click on submit. Okay, it is done. All right, till this part I have done. Like, again it goes to the calendar and enter. I am already logged in this incognito, so it is already there. But if it is not, it will save this. All right, so this is the, one second. Yeah, I'm just stopping it. Yeah, so this is what I have done for this particular demo. Okay, so how did I achieve this? I will start showing you step by step. Let me first log out from here. I think I need to log out from this as well, because sign out, and let me remove this. Yeah, I think I can remove this. Perfect. Okay, so it's not even. Not sure why it is not popping up. Meanwhile, do you have any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far? Even silly question is a valid question, so feel free to ask. Well, I will take that as a no. So coming back to our code, now let me show step by step how it works. So as I said, first part is opening Chrome and running it. So here, if I run this particular icon, that will run only this bot. Okay. So as I said, like it will open Chrome and then click on the full screen. If I run this, that's what it will do. Open and run. Yes. And there is, so now you are in this stage. Okay, your screen is on this stage. Whenever you are coding, right, you have to keep your screen. You cannot just switch the tab to here and do the next process. It will fail. So wherever you have to stop there. Okay, you have to stop there. Now next part is to click on this particular link. Okay, this find a meetup near you. So how to do that? So that is there in my second RTA podcast. So for that, what we have to, there are many ways, guys. Okay, MuleSoft RPA, we can explore a lot of things, but one of the ways I have chosen is to choose based upon the image search. Okay, like wherever I see find a meetup or find word, click on that. This is what I have coded on my RPA podcast. Now, for that, you can see here there is a thing called search for find a meetup here. Okay, I have done this coding already. So what I am doing is, if you see here, the search area is find. I know, like, it's not visible properly. Here it is find, and I am taking from the whole screen. I'm capturing from the whole screen. You can see here this find. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so if I close this, I can test it whether it will work or not. If I click on test, it says like image found at x, and at the position it gives the position as well. Okay, and whenever you are capturing some screen, by default it is always like 95% or 100%, but for safer side, it is always to keep your required matching precision to 84%, because sometimes there could be like small font change or any small changes, right? But still, if you give like 94 to 100% the precision, whenever there is a small minute change, your RPA bot will fail. So it's always to keep a better resolution precision value to 84%. Okay, as I said like before, like it's more kind of a Photoshop job. Okay, and then now that we found the image with find, what is the next step? So you have to imagine how a user, how a manual user is, have your manual process they do, right? So next step is they are, so next step is to click on this. I need to click it. Unless and until you are telling bot to click, it won't click, isn't it? So those steps are really necessary. So now let me go to here. So click find a meetup link. So another connector that I'm using is mouse wizard, no, mouse action wizard. So this particular connector is used whenever there is an involvement of clicking with mouse. Okay, that's what here it is happening here. I'll show you later how to do that. So then next thing is click. I think it's better for me to show right away by dragging and dropping one creative user bot. I'll say like open LinkedIn. So let me keep like open LinkedIn. Okay, let me go here. First thing what I can do is I can also copy paste these two here. I can, that is a good thing here. Now I can paste because I need to open the LinkedIn. Instead of going to mulesoft.com, what I can do is www.linkedin.com. I'll type it. Okay, I'll click on. I can also test it, even just like we have like test connections, right? In MuleSoft Anypoint Studio, we have test here as well. Now you can see it is opening LinkedIn.com. Okay. Now, for example, I need to click on, I forgot the password. I need to click on forgot password. How to do that? Let's see. Okay. Now we are done with this particular part. So I'll go with image search. Oh, sorry. Just keenly observe how I am doing this. Next step is to do an image search. I'll search from scratch. I'll choose search from scratch. So I am just zooming which text I need. Okay, I need to click on forgot password, so I am using only forgot. You might be asking a question, Shravan, why you are not using the whole word? When a whole word, whenever you are doing RPA, please make sure that you have to use as limited text as possible to identify a text. Okay, that will save time and have trace. So now I need only forgot. So you can see here I am zooming it. So then I'll click on F10, and then
which area you want. You know that, either you can capture the full screen. So it will, next thing, once you select that area, right, it will ask you which part of the screen that the bot needs to look at. You can use either full screen, like this whole screen, but there are chances that the whole screen may contain more than one forgot word. So for example, there is a forgot password here, and somewhere forgot to sign up, right? It will be here. Now if I click on full screen and capture the whole screen, there are two things here: forgot password and forgot to sign up. It might go to forgot to sign up, but that is not the case with me. I forgot my password, right? So what you can do is, you can capture the required part. So now I wanted to capture only the upper part of the screen, so that it will not really check for the forgot keyword in the bottom of the screen. I wanted to check only this part. Even I don't want, this area. If you keep as less as possible, it will be nice. So only this part I want. Now I am clicking on capture. Now can you see here on my screen how it looks? There is a forgot pattern image, and it shows the red color area which we have selected. Everyone, are you with me? Let me go back. Yes, no, right? So yeah, so coming back to this is the area which you have selected. As I said earlier, whenever you are doing something, the default value will be like 95 precision matching. It's fine, but it's always good to keep like around 84-85%. Okay, and wait till the image is steady. This is also a very good option when we are doing, because the image, sometimes our web page loads. Sometimes if our internet is poor, of course whenever we are deploying the task, it will be having very good internet, but it's always better to choose this option, wait until image is steady, so that then it will be easy for us to. Now again, test it. It will fail here. Why it is failing? Because I am not on the right screen, right? I was looking at our chat, and it is trying to go ahead to the last opened screen, and it is searching for that. Can you see here? It is searching for that particular area, the red area, and it is not finding any forgot keyword. So it is failed. So that means I have to go first here, and then go, and then test it. Now it is successful. Everyone understood this point? Yes, no? So we have now found the forget keyword, but we didn't click yet. So for that, what we need to do is, you have to go, you can click on OK, and then search for mouse click actions, mouse actions. I will drag and drop after this. It's like step-by-step process, right? So it should be next step. Click on mouse actions. Now see what will happen. When I clicked on start, it is already showing the previous marked boundaries, and also the forgot keyword is highlighted in red color rectangular box. Now it is easy for us to just click on this. So I'm left clicking this and press F10. That's it. So now you can see it says like you have done a left click action. Simple. Click on OK. I will save it. Now what I will do is, I will close this particular tab. I will just only run this particular bot. If I run this, it is opening new page, and then clicking on forget password. Got it? Everyone? It looks good, right? So something which is automated. And now you must be wondering like why many of the websites includes this particular, are you not, prove that you are not a robot, right? Imagine you are creating a robotic task to create millions of accounts per minute and try to crash their website, correct? There is a chance to crash that, right? So that's the reason they are changing the pictures. Are you not a robot? They will ask you to select the pictures which has bicycles or motorcycles, just because if there is a change in my UI, my RPA gets failed. That's the reason we are having all the stuff. Interesting. So now we have that. Now, so this is how we have done. Now going back to our actual process, let me keep this somewhere here, because I don't want to disturb. Next thing is, so I will run this particular open Chrome again, because we need to do step by step. Okay. So now we are on the meetup page. Next step is find a meetup near you. That's what I have done. We are searching for find. That is done. I have shown you clicking. I have shown you. Okay. Once it is clicked, it is again. So here what is happening is, next after clicking this find meetup, it will open a new page. Okay. Then next thing I need to search is for upcoming events. The same image pattern I have done, like, I'm just searching for that upcoming text, and then click on that upcoming text just like we did before. And I am using sleep for 2 seconds. The reason why I'm using sleep for 2 seconds is you need to give some time for the web browser to load, right? Which I haven't done for before this doing this. If I click run for this, it goes to find a meetup near you, and immediately it clicks like, upcoming events. But what if my web page is not loading, right? What if my web page is not loading immediately, right? You need to give some sleep time. That's the reason we are using sleep time. Okay. Of course I have to RSVP for the event. And sorry to the Wiser virtual meetup, sorry Ravi, because I am using your meetup group to RSVP, and so I didn't have any option. uh, so that is what we are doing. Again, next step what we are doing, we are searching for chat gpt text here. The same thing, image pattern and all. Okay. So more or less I am doing the same thing here for all this, like going with the image search, clicking on the events. Next, there is another interesting thing. I am searching for whether I have RSVP'd for this event or not. That is important. So what I'm trying to do is I am searching for the image. Okay, sorry. Here, look for an RSVP. Okay. If it is an if there is an RSVP, that means you have already registered, correct? Then there is no reason for you to do the registration again, right? So if already there is this thing gateway that we have, true and false, where I have said something like, if it is an RSVP, which means true, then clean up, done. There is no task for us to again register for the event. If it is showing RSVP, which means an RSVP, then you have to do all the process, like RSVP to the event and add it to the Google. Got it? So this particular gateway, if you see here, it's like a choice router in MuleSoft, in Anypoint Studio, right? We have choice router. Same thing we are doing. Okay. But how does this particular set condition expression for gateway knows, right? So here I am doing something. There is a parameter called set variable wizard. Set variable is like literally our set variable thing in MuleSoft. Okay. Set variable, what I'm doing is, if this is failing, like if an RSVP is failing, which is giving an error, then you are setting something. So do action. Okay. This is something within managed section. Within transaction, you can drag and drop. There is something called managed. Within managed, you are saying like, if there is a success one, it's like a error handling, guys. If you want to relate it with MuleSoft, it is kind of error handling. Here I am not doing any kind of error handling. Okay. You don't see any kind of managed thing here, but you have to do it for every step. Every step managed section is really important, because you need to perform some action based upon that. So here within managed, I'm saying like do action. It is readable, right? Do action. If this is there, you set this value. On error, set this value. Based upon that, it will route to this particular flows, right? Again, did I write any code so far here, guys? Oh, Ravi, you are here. I'm apologizing you. Okay, we are using your Vizag Mutual Meetup to for this purpose. Sorry for that. We didn't have any option. Okay, guys. So far, did we use any code here, or it's just clicks? I want everyone to answer this, right? No code. This requires patience, but it is more interesting, right? So that's why we call it as no code. Okay, no code, but there is code with clicks. Okay, if there is no code, why do we need a developer, isn't it? Right? So this is done. So this is kind of routing to different flows based upon the choice we have, right? So now more or less we are doing all the same process here. I don't want to go into deep for everything. Okay. And next thing what I have done, do you remember in the video,
I have my video. It is doing Control F and searching for the search button. So in the mouse keyword keystrokes wizard, there is another called keystroke wizard. You can see here Control F, submit, all this stuff, and then you are doing Control F, and then you are, can you see here there is another connector called enter string wizard. So whenever there is a requirement for you to do a Control F, right, you need to first select this particular keystroke wizard. It is not mouse stroke, it is keystroke, it is keyboard. Mouse is for mouse, okay. And next, search for the string. So you have to use that string, whichever string you want to use it, okay. Type here and enter so that it will search for the same. Yeah, so let me see where I am here. So it is RSVP. So here, Vizag meetup. Please don't forget to join this meetup, which is coming on like May 31st. Now let me run this and see, give it a try if I can make something here. Probably I'm not starting from the correct page. Oops. Let me stop this. I have to see from which page it is there. So where is this? Check if already RSVP. Here, image search. So I have to make sure that I have to be in the same page. I will run it again, but I can show you there how to do control. I can do a test probably. Yeah, it is working fine. And enter. Anyways, so this is one thing. So these are the series of steps. Again, the whole process which I have shown is for one particular manual task, which is to sign up to something, isn't it? But, and you might be wondering, Shravan, where did you get that Shravan Yadav, all those my email ID and password? Where did we store them, right? For them, we have something called activity parameters. Okay. So before getting started, what you can do is you can click on activity parameters. You can add as many new parameters as you want. For example, if your manual process requires some credentials, then you can make use of, if you click on here, okay, you have, like, for example, if you have AWS credentials, you can use that. You can add coordinates, you can add anything here, okay. So here the sign itself, right here, the you can see this particular symbol. I know that it is very small, but I think where it is, maybe out coordinates or somewhere it is, okay. So login credentials, right here it will ask for user. This is not the right one. Let me see. Yeah, this one, add user account variable, okay. When you're clicking add user account variable, for example, LinkedIn credentials, okay? Then you can keep some description LinkedIn, and then you can provide your LinkedIn username, linkedin.com, and then you can type your password, and it is totally masked, okay. If I type 123, and if you try to copy this password somewhere, you cannot copy that, okay. It's nowhere you can, so it is secure, okay. Don't worry, if at all, if you're giving here, there is no way that you can view also here your password. It is safe, okay. Then we will make use of this. I'll show you RSVP for the event. Let me go to Google Calendar. Probably I have used here. Yeah, click on empty space, sleep, click on the password, enter the password, right? So enter the password in the enter string. What I am doing is I'm doing this, I'm trying to enter the password manually, but there is another way that you can fetch from. Give me 1 second. Where is that? Log into MuleSoft community here. Enter password. Yeah. So community password here, right? Your activity parameters will be shown over here. Okay, username and password. You can select if you want to username. You can select username if you want to password. So whatever activity parameters are there over there, you can do it. Clear, everyone, so far? Yes, no? Let me go back. Is there any process for encrypting the credentials that we use for logging into any site via bot, or we directly hardcode the credential? There are different kind of security mechanisms for sure. I have read in the documentation, but I never used it, Katrish, to be honest. But yes, there are encrypting mechanisms. But however, you can, again, like, there are many methods. It's not that you are putting your value here itself, right? You can add global, just like we have global properties. Remember, in MuleSoft we have something called global parameters that I can show you in the next phase of the life cycle. Okay, usually it is like inside, if I'm not wrong, give me 1 second. Let me go through the RPM manager. It will be somewhere in the global manager, bot management, or somewhere it will be there. API keys and all, like, or there will be some place where you can store all your values, but it is always secure. There are things. Okay, and yeah. So more or less, I was talking about only few connectors, like for example, image search, keystroke, mouse click actions, activity parameters. For this particular process itself, we are using more than like 5 to 6 connectors, but you can do more. For example, here, if you want to read a text from a PDF file, right? What I can do is PDF, read PDF file. For example, you are dragging and dropping that in. Let me go here. I'll tell you how easy it is. You might be using some tools to read, to extract the, uh, to extract the text from PDF file. You don't need now if you have already. So what you can do is you can open some. Let me see what if I have. For example, MCIA one, right? I'm just making sure no sensitive data is being displayed. Or let me go with just waiting for downloads. Let me see what this has. Let me go with boarding pass. Okay, let me go with boarding pass. So go to downloads. Shravan, downloads. Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to click on, because this is directory path, and then file name it is asking. So I'll go with okay, let me take this hyper automation certification, this MCHS. So file name is mchs.pdf, and you can see something. If you feel that your PDF file is password protected, you can enter the password. Like, for example, for our pay slips and all, there might be password protected. Okay? So everything is there on your plate. Okay. Now, instead of deploying, I'm just testing it. Okay. Click on test. It is loading. Guys, can you see the text? What is happening here? So now, for example, you have a use case where your employees are uploading their certificates into a folder. Everyone is hyper automation certified developer, and they are uploading the certificates into your folder. And now your manager needs to pick the names of those who have completed the exam, and their acquired date and expiry date. These three fields they need. What they can do, like, they can just create a bot which can extract the PDF text. Now this is text, right? And take last three fields, because always the PDF has a standard format for this, right? And you can take last three fields, and you can do something like you can update into Salesforce, right? This is a use case. Is it not interesting, guys? Yes, no? Right? Others? So this is how you can do many things using many things using RPA. Whatever I am teaching, I taught here is just the basic things, but you can do wonders with RPA. But again, to do wonders, you need RPA access. RPA access is not for free, so you have to reach out to your organization to provide the access for RPA manager. Got it, guys? That's what I wanted to show this demo today. Uh, any questions? You can maybe Smith. I will stop my sharing my screen, and you can enable the participants with.
Yes.
Yeah, we are making you host, but don't try to leave the meeting or leave the meeting for all, guys. Make sure you are not doing that because it happened earlier. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. If not, I will try to tell some tips for hyperautomation certification as well, how to crack it. Without uploading an image, is it possible to find doing the manual text? So Arsha, I didn't get your question, but without uploading the image. So our requirement was to extract the text from the
Shravan, you're mute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, Harsha, your question is you need to extract the text. So, our requirement was to extract the text from the image, right? So, that is the reason we need an image for sure. But whatever you are seeing on my screen, it was a test thing. Okay, I'm just testing it. But once you deploy, it will not show you the image and all kind of stuff. It will just show you the text at the end. Got it? Hi, Ravi.
Hi, Shravan.
Hi, Slavan. Hi,
Hi, hi.
Kathy. Hi, Count.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone was unmuting themselves and speaking.
Hi,
Is
Shravan. Kadresh here.
Hi,
Am I
Kadrish.
audible?
You're audible,
Uh,
yes.
yeah. So you have mentioned some LinkedIn site. So you have hard
Correct.
coded the like credentials, right? So consider like if I am using any Salesforce connector
Correct.
in my flow, like in my application. So I need to switch to multiple environments in that Salesforce. So how can I do I need to like hard code the password every time, or is there any possibility to switch over the passwords like that we can save it?
So, very good question. So, here your question is like you want to use Salesforce in your flow, right? But there is in hyper automation certification, there is this question. You have a requirement where you need to upload the leads into Salesforce. Okay, that is a question. They'll ask you which tool you will be using. Option A, RPA, option B, Composer, option C, MuleSoft Anypoint Platform. If you're going with option A, RPA, that would be a wrong answer because we are specifically using MuleSoft RPA for things which we cannot do using automation, like using APIs or with the Composer. So if at all there is a requirement for you to call Salesforce or to use Salesforce, then we would go with the option of MuleSoft Composer first. Of course, you can do that with using MuleSoft Anypoint platform, but MuleSoft Composer is more easier way to connect. So again, I would be saying the same thing in the MuleSoft hyperautomation certification tips. Like if you ask me, Shravan, can I not use RPA for logging into Salesforce? You can use, but it's not the right choice, right? Now you itself is you're saying like we have different environments, so this kind of stuff RPA cannot handle that. However, you can have again. If you ask me, is it not possible? Yes, you can possible. You can use multiple gateways, checking on the URL text whether it is test or sandbox or production. You can route it to different things. But again, MuleSoft RPA is not the right choice for that particular use case. And very good question, guys. You are listening so far, right? All this stuff. I'm keep on saying that RPA is used to eradicate this manual stuff and automate everything. But what I am doing, I am running something, and that running is done by a manual thing, right? I am running. I am clicking on run bot. Did you get a question like then? Again, there is a manual intervention here. What is the use of RPA? Isn't it? Right? So why? So once this RPA bots are deployed, then comes the picture of Anypoint Studio or Anypoint Platform or MuleSoft Composer. So once these bots are ready in Composer or in Anypoint Platform, if you go to Exchange, you can see
bot connector, RPA bot connector. When you drag and drop that particular, so for example, there's a requirement where Katresh, your requirement, let's put it in this way. You have all the MuleSoft certificates, whatever are there in one folder. Your job is to pick up the files, drag, get the text of name, certification date and expiry date, these three leads, and you have to upload in Salesforce. Okay, so now we have to use two things here. Okay, one is your RPA bot. Before that, you need to, so it's kind of so you, it should not be run by a manual person, so we need someone to run this bot, correct? So now why can't we use Anypoint Studio or Anypoint platform to create a scheduler job which runs every day? So there is a scheduler connector, okay, which starts the event every day at one particular time. Then you can have this RBA bot connector there. There is a connector for RPA bot, you can place that, and that there will be having a start RPA bot operation. So it will kickstart the operation. Then RPA bot is triggered by the MuleSoft Anypoint platform, get the file data, and then you can use RPA Composer to upload the leads into Salesforce. So this is the so hyper automation certificate. Hyper is the combination of Salesforce products, and you have to choose the best solution out of it. Most of the questions in your certification exam will come, what is the best solution? It's not what is it's the question is not about what is the solution. There is a difference. Solution, you can do everything using RPA, right? So what is the best solution or the combination of products of Salesforce to help solve this, so problem of a business? Clear? And guys, for hyper automation certification, RPA is not the only product that they are going to ask questions. I failed in my first attempt. I am not. I'm okay to say that. I'm not feeling guilty on that because I failed in my first attempt. Just imagining that most of the questions will be coming from RPA, which is wrong. To crack the hyper automation certification, I think you can find it on my website. I have written a blog on that. So you need idea on MuleSoft Anypoint platform, Composer, RPA, flow orchestration, Einstein bots, all this stuff. Okay, exactly. So it depends upon, so for MuleSoft folks, Salesforce topics are new. For Salesforce folks, MuleSoft topics are new. So this hyper automation really puts everyone together, saying that you need to have knowledge in all the products. Clear? Yes, no? Any more questions? Again, whatever I taught is like just the training that I have got from MuleSoft, and I'm just exploring. RPA is a new technology for me. It found interesting for me because I love editing, Photoshop, all the stuff. It's not really Photoshop though, but you can give it a try. It will be more interesting. To do this particular RSVP to MuleSoft, it took me 2 weeks. You trust me, it took 2 weeks for me because it is something new, and all this stuff, like I'm opening another browser and it is searching for another thing. To get to know all these things, it takes time, so you should have some patience, but once you know what it is, it will be easy for you. Got it? Ravi, you want to speak anything about this?
I saw nothing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you said is right.
Yeah. And apologies for you again, like that there used to be a training where MuleSoft has a separate event just for training purpose, where we are RSVP for the event quite often, but it was not there. And then I thought like ChatGPT is something interesting that I can show them. So yeah, I've used it. And yeah, any questions, folks? Or is Smith, Shubham, you want to continue here from here?
We have
Thanks,
one more
for that.
question from Janardhan Shravan.
Okay, can we run any external scripts like macros? Very good question. I think there is a way that you can run scripts, but again, so this is the thing. For example, we have run the chrome.exe file, isn't it? That is a run command. So there you can run any kind of script. However, when you say JavaScript you want to run, that particular compiler should be installed in your deployed machine.
Okay, you have a JavaScript which where you want to run it. That particular compiling compiler should be installed in your virtual machine, or the place where you are deploying, and you can use this run wizard component to just run your script. Like go to the selected folder and where your script javascript.js, okay, and click it. It will run. But again, you have to so whenever you are using RPA, you have to make sure that whatever you are doing, right? For example, running the script. For example, running a Groovy script, you don't really require MuleSoft one platform. You don't have to go till RPA, right? So you have to make sure that if it is not possible using MuleSoft Anypoint platform or Composer, then of course you can go with RPA. I'm stressing this point again and again just because you will have these questions asked in the certification exam.
Thank you. Let me explain you my scenario, like so why I got this question.
Okay.
I actually am doing automation using Excel, so where I need to update lakhs of records within the Excel. So
Okay.
if I go to if I use loops over the actions within the toolbox, it will take a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time. So what I
Mm-hmm.
decided, when I use with other RPA tools, I used to write
Mm-hmm.
the macros or VBA script or JavaScript, other
Mm-hmm.
scripting languages, and I used to call them within the RPA.
Yeah.
So I didn't see any such kind of feature. So is there any way we can call the external scripts? So for my
Yeah.
Excel operations, I need to update lakhs of records. So if I
Okay.
have a provision to run that external macro program, so it could
Mm-hmm.
be very easy.
Yeah, to be honest, Janardhan, for your question, I don't have an answer, to be honest with you, because I'm just using MuleSoft. But however, I can see this run wizard. Whatever you said, I understood the scenario, but I would think like you can definitely run the scripts which using run program concept, right? You have written already your VB script, but make sure that that script, that compiler, whatever, wherever you're running this VB script, right, it is installed. If it is installed, I'm pretty much sure that run program wizard can actually help in executing the script.
Uh,
But I can get more so you can always, guys, whoever is interested, right, who are into real time MuleSoft RPA things, you can reach out to us, me, Smith, Shubham, or Sadik, or even Ravi. You can reach out to us. There is a group for MuleSoft RPA because MuleSoft RPA is new, everyone is exploring, they have questions like
yeah,
you can discuss that MuleSoft RPA. We have a Slack, okay, Slack channel where
oh,
you can join us. All right.
sure, sure. Thanks for the
Yeah,
input.
thank you.
Guys, excuse me. I believe it's still recording.
Sorry.
Oh, it's still
Uh,
recording, you're saying?
I
Yeah, like we can stop, I think. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Thanks, Lucas.